Hey guys, I just wanted to share my story, my own personal testimony with you. And so here it is. 9 months before I was even born, I was in the church. Um, my dad is a pastor. He's a music pastor in the church, and I can say this and people would even say this about me when I was young and growing up in the church, that I was a good boy. I was a good boy. I did what I was told. I tried to follow my parents and didn't really act out. But you know what? I still disobeyed. I still didn't follow my parents all the time. I still lied to my parents. I tried to be a little conniving kid and do what I wanted to do and get my way. And I did what I wanted to do. And I heard about Jesus all my life growing up. I grew up in the church. And even at one point in my life, I even prayed a prayer to follow Jesus, but it didn't mean anything to me. And what I mean by that is there was one point a Sunday school teacher basically, I don't know what she was talking about, basically asked us late at the end, hey, if anybody wants to get saved or pray this prayer, stay afterwards. And I decided to stay afterwards and pray this prayer, but it didn't mean anything to me because all the other kids who didn't stay behind got to go outside and play on the playground. The only thing I was thinking is like, man, I really wish I would have stayed in here so I could go outside and play. Well, in the spring of 1999, when I was 7 years old, my family moved to Beaumont, Texas, and my dad started to work on staff at a church called Calvary Baptist in Beaumont. And shortly after we moved there, the church put on a production called Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames, and that's where I realized that I needed Jesus, that I needed to repent of my sin and follow Jesus. And basically, Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames would basically ask you the question through production of what would happen to you tonight if you were to die? Would you go to heaven? Would you go to hell? And I realized that because of my sin, that I was going to hell, that I would be separated from God forever. But it's not only because I didn't want to go to hell, it's because I wanted to be with God. I wanted to be back in relationship with Him. I wanted to serve Him. And because I didn't know Jesus, I was going to hell for my sin. And I needed forgiveness. And I needed to turn away from the life I was living. And I committed my life that night in the spring of 1999 to Jesus, to follow Him. But this is the thing. I did start living for the right reasons, but God had to really work in my life over many years in middle school and high school and college, and I wasn't perfect, and today I'm still not perfect, but I started to become more conscious of my sin, of what I needed to do with my life, and because I gave my life to Jesus that night, I have direction. I have purpose in my life. And yes, again, God has done so much pruning in my life where He had to correct me of ways I thought about people and ways I even thought about myself. But you know what? I realize now that I need to live my life in a way that other people need to see Jesus in me, that I need to reach people with the gospel, and people need the same relationship that I have with Jesus. And ultimately, because of my decision to follow Jesus, I'm doing what I'm doing now. I'm starting in my third year as a student pastor in Dublin, Georgia, and I can say that I would not be here if I had not given my life to Jesus, because He gave me direction, He gave me purpose, and He'll do the same for you. Then you don't even have to go into ministry, but even whatever you do with your life, you're going to have direction and you're going to have purpose. And guys, thank you for watching. I hope this encourages you and even encourages you to share your story of how Jesus has impacted your life.